the Daily Reflections for, July 11th. It is 4:27 a.m. Couldn't sleep, so I got up. Entitled A Turning Point. A great turning point in our lives came when we sought for humility as something we really wanted, rather than as something we must have. Interesting. I'm going to read that again. A great turning point in our lives came when we sought for humility as something we really wanted, rather than as something we must have. You know, when they throw "for" in there, it throws me off a little bit. How about a great turning point in our lives came when we sought humility as something we wanted? I don't think we need the "for," but I am not criticizing. They did a pretty good job with all the literature up to this point. Either the AA way of life becomes one of joy, or I return to the darkness and despair of alcoholism. Ain't that the truth? Joy comes to me when my attitude concerning God and humility turns to one of desire rather than of burden. The darkness in my life changes to radiant light when I arrive at the realization that being truthful and honest in dealing with my inventory results in my life being filled with serenity, freedom, and joy. Trust in my higher power deepens and the flush of gratitude spreads through my being. I am convinced that being humble is being truthful and honest in dealing with myself and God. It is then that humility is something I really want, rather than being something I must have. This is a good one. My glasses, incidentally, are old, my vision has changed, and I placed an order for new glasses about 3 weeks ago. And I'm building a resentment against Glasses USA, which I can't recommend at this point. I should have just ordered it. I didn't order it from the optometrist I went to because it was going to take too long, and that was like 7 business days. I would have had those like 2 weeks ago. I should have been more humble and patient. Anyway, let's peel this onion a little bit. Great turning point in our lives came when we sought humility as something we wanted rather than something we must have. That's a tough one. Because on the surface, you know, I can sit here and say, yes, I'm trying to be humble. I seek humility. But I think when the bullets start flying and I start to revert back to my base level, my instinctual level, it doesn't seem like the opposite of humility, but that's what it really is. Especially when I think somebody's doing something wrong or I'm upset about a situation. Because nothing happens by accident in God's world if we believe in God. And God is or he isn't. When I think a situation should be going differently, or my family should be acting in a different way, or somebody else should be, that's me playing God. That's me saying that I know what's better for somebody else. And that's the complete opposite of humility. Humility, you know, I heard something. This was, I may have mentioned it in the last video I did. When something happens that I don't like, it's just something happening. It's not happening to me. It's just happening. And how I choose to react to that is really a kind of a barometer for my spirituality. That really kind of stuck with me. And there's a lot of stuff I listen to as far as psychology, kind of self-help, kind of inspirational things. They don't all stick with me, but that one did. And I think it's because I've got about 20 years of some type of AA knowledge. I wouldn't call it wisdom. Knowledge. That one stuck with me. It's just happening. It's not happening to me. I don't really know when the turning point was as far as joy coming to me. I know it happened. I know when I believed that the program was real. That happened early on when I've told the story about in the Navy, a guy that I'd served with came and really helped me out. And there's no reason why he should have been there. But anyway, That's when I knew that the program was real. As far as like true joy, I think that happened this time around because I relapsed in 2017. 2020, I came back in. And in working back through the steps, a bunch of this stuff, okay, so I just mentioned it, knowledge and wisdom. So for me, knowledge is having an intellectual awareness that this thing is real or this thing exists. I say wisdom is knowing that that's real and it exists and then actually applying it to myself, making it applicable, putting it into action. I think that's true wisdom. It's acting upon the things that you know. I like that. Wisdom is acting upon the things that you know. Anyway, it was this time around when the joy, the peace, the serenity kicked in. And it really was fourth and fifth step and digging into the 12 and 12 instincts. Read it. First page. It's used 19 times in that chapter, the word instincts. The darkness of my life changes to radiant light when I arrive at the realization that being truthful and honest in dealing with my inventory results in my life being filled with serenity. So, I am cleaning out the garage and the house. We had floors put in. I thought it was an excellent opportunity to only put the stuff back into the house that we really need, that we really like, and that we really use, which isn't a lot. Anyway, it was chaos in here, and still is. I mean, most of it's done. I'd say we're 90% of the way there. I don't deal well with chaos around me. I like order. And I have also purged a bunch of stuff out of the garage, but there's still more to do. And I decided that I'm going nuclear on the garage. So I promise there's a point to this. So I took everything out of the garage, right? So everything's in the garage. It's just shoved everywhere, right? And then I'm putting stuff back away. So reorganizing tools. And I've been, collecting tools for 35 years. There's sockets missing. I've never taken an inventory of my tools, right? I have a lot of them. I can't find all of them when I need them, and some of them are missing. I think that's an excellent analogy about this. Because literally, I'm taking inventory of my toolboxes. I actually bought a new set of complete tools. I bought a new toolbox, and I'm loading it in a way that I will know where everything is at. And I'm taking all the old redundant tools, I'm packaging those up, and I'm giving them to somebody else, like my stepson or his buddy. So there's a bunch of parallels here. I'm passing on the stuff that I don't use to someone that can use it. I am organizing the stuff that I know I will use and making sure that it's a complete set. And I'm taking all the other stuff out and getting rid of it because it's just junking up the place. Inventory. Also, when I walk past something that it bothers me, or I'll give you an example. We have a dog. It peed in my daughter's room upstairs. I walked into my daughter's room to get her an outfit for the day, and it smelled like pee. Immediately, extremely irritated. But I had a realization that if I'm irritated about something, this is happening. It's not happening to me. Therefore, what am I going to do? Because if I do nothing, well, then it would appear that I enjoy being irritated and angry. But if I go buy a $20 dog gate and install it at the stairs, well, this will never happen again. I had to think about myself for a second and ask myself, why don't I do more things when things irritate me? Why don't I take action when things irritate me? And I still haven't figured it out. I mean, I've gotten a lot better at it. I even write stuff down now. What irritates me? What can I do about it? What can I do about it now? What is the cost of not doing something about it? Time, creativity, serenity. Anyway, I'm getting very cerebral today. But I think it's all interrelated. All this stuff is interrelated. And the concept of inventory it's taken on, inventory ceased being just a word and has become really a lock. No, a key to the lock that on the other side of that is peace. Whether it's tools, whether it's myself, my character defects, a bunch of old junk in the house, inventorying my business, understanding what exists now, what's coming in, what's going out, at what rates is it coming in and going out. It is one of the most powerful words that I think is just kind of glossed over quite a bit, is inventory. Because you can't do anything about a situation unless you know the situation and inventory it. Trust in my higher power deepens, and the flush of gratitude spreads through my being. I am convinced that being humble is being truthful and honest in dealing with myself and God. It is then that humility is something I really want, rather than being something I must have. Yeah, I don't really know what to add to that, except that it's completely and utterly true. Humility for me, if I'm not in humility, I'm imposing my will or projecting what I feel my will should be onto other people. And that is playing God. And when I'm playing God, I am obviously not being humble. So really, irritation leads to not being humble about anything, really. If I really, get all the way down to the crux, the foundational level, anytime I'm irritated, I'm not in humility. And if I'm not in humility, I'm missing that key, the inventory key. Wow, what a good one. 13 minutes. Thanks for watching. If you're not sober, go to a meeting. If you are sober, go to a meeting, talk to your sponsor. I haven't been to a meeting because the summer is terrible, and it's triage. It's like a lifeboat, and I have a bucket, and I'm getting water out of the lifeboat, and it keeps coming back in because the kids have camps. It's just a huge pain. So anyway, I love you. Thanks for watching.